The vast emptiness of space stretched before Zara Novak like an infinite canvas of darkness, punctuated by distant starlight. Her compact scout vessel, the Horizon Breaker, hummed with a quiet intensity that matched her own focused demeanor. At 32, she was the epitome of a modern space explorer, part scientist, part adventurer, and entirely dedicated to pushing the boundaries of human exploration. The deep space research mission had been routine for the first 6 months, mapping uncharted sectors, collecting stellar data, and occasionally discovering remnants of cosmic phenomena that defied previous scientific understanding. But today felt different. The quantum resonance sensors had been flickering with unusual patterns for the past 3 hours, creating a low-level tension that made the hair on the back of her neck stand up. "Computer," Zara called out, her voice cutting through the ship's ambient noise. "Run a full diagnostic on the quantum resonance array. Something's not adding up." The ship's AI, a sophisticated system named QORI, Computational Operational Response Engine, responded with clinical precision. Scanning. Anomaly detected at coordinates 47.3 Mark 12.6. Quantum signature does not match any known stellar or planetary emissions. Zara leaned forward, her dark brown eyes narrowing. Years of training had taught her that in deep space, anomalies were rarely coincidental. Her fingers danced across the holographic interface, pulling up multiple data streams and overlay projections. "Magnify sector 47.3, she commanded. The main view screen shifted, revealing a shimmering distortion in the fabric of space. It wasn't a natural phenomenon. The edges were too precise, the energy signature too consistent. Something was out there. And it was definitely not a random cosmic event. Before she could initiate further analysis, a sudden burst of energy erupted from the distortion. The Horizon Breaker systems immediately went into defensive mode, shields activating with a low electromagnetic hum. "Incoming transmission," Core announced. "Communication method non-standard. Attempting translation protocols." Zara's hand hovered near the emergency thrust controls. First contacts were delicate, and humanity's history with unknown species was complicated at best. Some encounters had been peaceful, others catastrophic. A series of geometric light patterns began to dance across her communication panel. They weren't random. There was a complex mathematical structure underlying the transmission. Whatever was out there was trying to communicate, not attack. "Analyze communication pattern," Zara instructed Kaor. "Look for recurring mathematical sequences." The ship's computer worked rapidly, breaking down the light patterns into complex algorithmic representations. Within moments, a rudimentary translation began to form. "Greetings, unknown vessel," the translation read. "You have entered a contested research zone. State your purpose and species designation." Zara took a deep breath. First contact protocols were clear. Be honest, be calm, show no aggression. "This is Zara Novak of the human research vessel Horizon Breaker. We are on a deep space exploration mission. We mean no intrusion." The response came faster this time, the light patterns more intricate. "Humans. Unexpected. Your vessel's energy signature is unconventional." The initial communication with the alien vessel had been tense, but not hostile. As Zara Novak studied the complex light-based language patterns, she realized this was no ordinary encounter. The aliens, whom Kaori had tentatively labeled the Quantum Collective, operated on a fundamentally different technological paradigm. "Core," Zara called out, her fingers tracing holographic data streams. "Analyze the communication methodology. There's something unique about their transmission protocol." The ship's AI responded with a series of rapid calculations. "Communication appears to be quantum-entangled light-based encryption. Traditional translation algorithms are insufficient. Recommendation: develop adaptive decryption matrix." Zara's mind raced. The Quantum Collective's technology was light years ahead of standard human communication systems. Where most species relied on radio waves or digital transmissions, these beings seemed to communicate through intricate light patterns that carried multidimensional information. In her compact research station, Zura pulled up her most advanced technological resources. A holographic display of her custom-built quantum processor materialized, a device she personally designed during her time at the Interstellar Research Institute. It was her pride and joy, a testament to human innovation, born from countless iterations and sleepless nights. "We're going to need something special," she muttered, her fingers flying across the interface. The processor began to adapt, creating dynamic algorithms that could interpret the alien light patterns. It was like learning an entirely new language, not just in words, but in fundamental communication structure. Hours passed. Zara barely noticed the time, her concentration absolute. The ship's environmental systems maintained a steady, cool temperature, understanding her need for uninterrupted focus. Nutrition packets dissolved automatically, providing sustenance without breaking her concentration. Core's voice interrupted her deep work. Quantum resonance detected. Alien vessel preparing secondary communication attempt. Zara looked up, her eyes sharp and alert. Switch to adaptive decryption mode. Let's see what we can learn. A new series of light patterns emerge, more complex than the previous transmission. But this time, something was different. Her custom quantum processor began to decode the patterns in real time, revealing layers of information that went beyond simple communication. Technological specifications detected, Core announced. Partial data stream incoming. The holographic display erupted with intricate geometric shapes, mathematical equations, and what appeared to be technological schematics. It was as if the quantum collective was simultaneously testing her technological capabilities and sharing a fragment of their advanced knowledge. Zara recognized certain universal mathematical principles, but the application was revolutionary. They were sharing principles of energy manipulation that human scientists had only theorized about. Quantum entanglement wasn't just a communication method for them. It was a fundamental way of interacting with reality. "Fascinating," she whispered, her mind already working to understand the implications. The schematics revealed technologies that seemed to defy known physical laws. Energy generation methods that could convert quantum fluctuations directly into usable power. Communication systems that didn't just transmit information but could potentially reshape the very fabric of space-time. But the quantum collective wasn't simply giving away their technology. Each schematic was a puzzle, a challenge. They were testing human adaptability, seeing how quickly Zara could comprehend and potentially replicate their advanced concepts. "Core, begin reverse engineering analysis," Zara instructed. "Cross-reference with our current theoretical models of quantum mechanics." The ship's AI worked rapidly, comparing the alien schematics with human scientific understanding. Some sections were incomprehensible, existing so far beyond current human knowledge that they appeared like pure abstraction. But other sections were tantalizingly close to breakthrough. Zara could see potential applications that could revolutionize human technology. Energy production that could solve global resource challenges. Communication systems that could connect across unprecedented distances. The quantum collective wasn't just sharing technology. They were offering a test, a challenge to human innovation. As the light patterns continued their complex dance, Zora Novak realized this was more than a first contact scenario. This was an invitation, a cosmic challenge to see if humanity could rise to meet an entirely new level of technological understanding. "We're going to crack this," she said quietly, a smile of determination spreading across her face. "Whatever you're offering, we'll understand it." The alien vessel continued its silent communication, waiting to see how humanity would respond to this unprecedented technological gauntlet. The quantum communication continued, a delicate dance of light and information between Zora's horizon breaker and the alien vessel. Each transmission was both a test and an opportunity, challenging human intellect while offering glimpses of extraordinary technological potential. Commander Ravi Kapoor from Earth's Interstellar Diplomatic Corps had been monitoring the transmission logs. His lean frame was hunched over a holographic display, analyzing every nuance of the communication. Unlike traditional diplomats who relied on scripted protocols, Kapoor understood that first contact required creativity, adaptability, and a profound understanding of communication beyond words. "They're not just sharing technology," Kapoor muttered to himself. "They're evaluating our cognitive capabilities." Zara's quantum processor had managed to decode approximately 42% of the alien communication patterns. Each decrypted segment revealed more about the quantum collective, a species that seemed to value intellectual challenge above all else. "Core," Zara called out, "prepare a response that demonstrates our technological comprehension without revealing all our capabilities." "Core," Zara called out, "prepare a response that demonstrates our technological comprehension without revealing all our capabilities." The ship's AI began constructing a response, not just a message, but a complex mathematical and visual representation that would communicate humanity's innovative potential. It was a diplomatic language of pure logic and creativity. The alien vessel's response came quickly, a burst of prismatic light that resolved into intricate geometric patterns. They were impressed, but not satisfied. The challenge continued. Kapoor recognized the strategy immediately. The quantum collective wasn't seeking traditional diplomatic relations. They were conducting a sophisticated assessment of humanity's potential. "They want to know if we're worth engaging with," he explained to the Earth Command Council through a secure quantum communication channel. "This isn't just first contact. It's a comprehensive evaluation of our species." Back on the Horizon Breaker, Zora worked tirelessly. She began constructing a unique response, not just a scientific demonstration, but a narrative of human innovation. Using advanced holographic technology, she compiled a visual representation of human technological evolution. The display showed humanity's journey, from simple stone tools to complex quantum computers. Each technological leap was represented as a burst of light, demonstrating how humans transform challenges into opportunities. It wasn't just a history, it was a statement of potential. The alien vessel's response was unexpected. Instead of more complex schematics, they transmitted a series of collaborative problem-solving scenarios. Each scenario was a complex, multidimensional puzzle that required simultaneous technological, mathematical, and creative solutions. "They're testing our collaborative intelligence," Zara realized. "Not just individual capability, but our ability to solve problems collectively." Kapoor agreed. "Humanity's greatest strength has always been our ability to collaborate, to combine diverse perspectives into innovative solutions." The diplomatic dance continued. With each transmission, humanity revealed just enough to intrigue the quantum collective without exposing vulnerabilities. It was a delicate balance of transparency and strategic reservation. As hours turned into days, the communication evolved. The alien vessel was no longer just testing. They were engaging. The scenarios became more complex, the challenges more nuanced. It was less an examination and more a dialogue. "We're establishing a new form of interstellar communication," Kapoor noted. "Not through traditional language, but through shared problem-solving." The quantum collective was learning that humans were not just another species to be categorized. They were adaptive, creative, and driven by an insatiable curiosity to understand and overcome challenges. Zara's final transmission was her most brilliant yet, a holographic representation that combined mathematical precision with artistic creativity. It wasn't just a message, it was a statement about human potential. The alien vessel's response came as a surge of quantum energy, a signal that went beyond words. It was recognition, respect, an invitation to something more. First contact was no longer about survival or territorial claims. It had become a meeting of minds, a cosmic collaboration that promised to reshape understanding of intelligence itself. The unexpected happened with brutal suddenness. A massive energy surge disrupted the Horizon Breaker systems, sending Zara Novak's vessel spiraling into an uncharted planet's atmosphere. Alarms blared, emergency protocols activated, and the ship's AI worked frantically to maintain some semblance of control. "Brace for emergency landing." Core's voice cut through the chaos, its typically calm tone now tinged with urgency. The planet rushed up to meet her, a landscape of jagged crystalline formations and terrain that seemed to shift and breathe with an alien metabolism. The horizon breaker crashed through layers of iridescent rock formations, its hull screaming with the impact, before finally coming to a violent stop in a valley of strange, luminescent vegetation. Silence followed the crash. Zara's first conscious thought was pain. Her body ached with the trauma of the landing, but years of space exploration training kicked in immediately. She ran a quick physical assessment. Bruised but not broken, systems functioning, survival instincts fully engaged. "Core damage report," she called out, her voice raspy. The AI's response was partial. Primary systems critically damaged. Life support at 43%. External environment analysis in progress. The ship's viewport revealed a landscape that defied terrestrial understanding. Crystalline structures pulsed with internal light. Vegetation seemed to respond to atmospheric changes, shifting and moving with an almost sentient quality. The atmosphere was breathable, but barely. Oxygen levels were low, and strange particulate matter hung in the air. Zara's survival kit was compact, but comprehensive. She pulled out advanced environmental adapters, nanofiltration masks, and a multi-purpose tool that was standard issue for deep space explorers. Each piece of equipment represented humanity's relentless drive to survive in the most hostile environments. First priority, she muttered to herself, create a sustainable environment. The nanofiltration mask adjusted automatically, creating a protective barrier against the alien atmosphere. Her environmental adapter began analyzing the surrounding terrain, looking for potential resources, potential threats. Hours passed. Zara transformed the ship's damaged hull into a makeshift shelter. Using her engineering skills, she repurposed damaged communication systems into early warning devices. Fragments of the ship became defensive barriers. Where most would see destruction, she saw opportunity. The planet itself seemed to be testing her. Crystalline formations that looked stable would suddenly shift, creating new pathways or blocking existing ones. The luminescent vegetation responded to her movements, sometimes retreating, sometimes appearing to study her. Core's remaining systems provided critical support. Environmental analysis complete. Planetary ecosystem appears to be dynamically responsive. Recommend minimal intervention approach. Zara understood the warning. This wasn't a world to be conquered, but one to be carefully navigated. Her first night on the planet was a testament to human adaptability. She constructed a heat source using damaged power cells, created a water collection system from the ship's remaining components, and established a perimeter that would warn her of any approaching life forms. As darkness fell, the planet transformed. Crystalline structures began to emit a soft, pulsing light. The vegetation seemed to breathe, expanding and contracting in complex rhythms. It was beautiful and terrifying in equal measure. "We're going to survive this," Zara whispered, more to herself than to Core. "Humanity has survived worse." And she meant it. Her mind was already working on solutions, ways to repair the ship, ways to communicate with potential rescue teams, ways to understand this alien world that had become her temporary home. The night passed. Each hour was a challenge, each moment a test of human resilience. The planet seemed to be watching, waiting, assessing this unexpected visitor who refused to be defeated by circumstances. As dawn approached, bringing with it new challenges and new opportunities, Zara Novak represented something more than just a stranded space explorer. She was a symbol of human determination. Adaptable, innovative, unbreakable. Survival was not just about physical endurance. It was about the human spirit's ability to transform challenges into opportunities. The crystalline planet continued its enigmatic dance around Zara, presenting challenges that would have broken a lesser explorer. But challenge was the catalyst of human innovation, and Zara Novak was determined to turn her desperate situation into an opportunity. Days had passed since the crash. The Horizon Breaker's remains were no longer just a damaged spacecraft, but a workshop of survival and potential discovery. Zara had begun to understand the planet's unique ecosystem, a living, breathing entity that responded to energy signatures and adaptive technologies. Core, she called out to the partially functioning eye, run a comprehensive analysis of the planetary energy patterns. There's something here we're not seeing. The damaged AI worked with remarkable efficiency, its quantum processors adapting to the limited resources. Fragments of data began to emerge, complex energy signatures that seemed to communicate through molecular vibrations. Zara's background in quantum engineering gave her a unique perspective. Where others might see random energy patterns, she saw a potential communication network. The planet wasn't just an environment. It was a complex, interconnected system. Her breakthrough came during a moment of pure desperation. Low on resources, with life support systems failing, she began experimenting with the planet's unique crystal formations. Using fragments of the Horizon Breaker's communication array, she created a makeshift energy conversion device. The first attempt failed spectacularly. The burst of energy sent her tumbling across her makeshift shelter, crystal fragments scattering like dangerous glass. But Zara understood that failure was just another step toward success. Every failure is data, she muttered, a mantra from her years of scientific training. Her second attempt was more calculated. She integrated nano-adaptive circuits from her survival kit into the crystal structure, creating a hybrid energy conversion system. The crystals began to respond, their internal structure shifting in response to her technological intervention. Suddenly, the shelter around her came to life. Damaged communication systems flickered. Core's processors hummed with renewed energy. The crystals were not just conducting energy. They were amplifying and transforming it. Quantum resonance stabilizing, Core announced, its voice clearer than it had been in days. Energy conversion efficiency at 62% and rising. Zara had done more than survive. She had begun to understand the planet's fundamental energy communication system. The crystals were like a living neural network, capable of transforming and transmitting energy in ways human technology had only theorized about. Her breakthrough had multiple implications. This wasn't just about survival anymore. This was a potential revolution in energy technology, a method of energy conversion that could solve humanity's most significant resource challenges. As night fell, the shelter glowed with a soft, pulsing light. The crystals continued their complex dance, now partially controlled by Zora's adaptive technology. She began documenting every observation, every modification. If we can understand this, she whispered to herself, we can change everything. The planetary communication system seemed to respond to her excitement. Crystal formations outside her shelter began to pulse in complex patterns, as if engaged in a dialogue she was just beginning to understand. Core's systems provided continuous analysis, energy conversion method unprecedented, potential applications in sustainable power generation, interstellar communication, and environmental adaptation. Zara knew the scientific community would be fascinated. This was more than a survival story. This was a potential technological leap that could redefine humanity's understanding of energy and communication. As dawn approached, casting strange prismatic lights across the alien landscape, Zora Novak represented something more than a stranded explorer. She was an innovator, transforming an impossible situation into a moment of extraordinary potential. The planet watched. The crystals pulsed, and humanity's potential for adaptation continued to reveal itself, one breakthrough at a time. The crystal formations surrounding Zora's makeshift shelter began to change, their internal structures responding to her technological innovations in increasingly complex ways. What had started as a survival mechanism was evolving into something far more profound, a potential communication bridge between human technology and the planet's living ecosystem. Unexpected movement caught her attention, a shimmer in the crystalline landscape, not a natural environmental shift, but something deliberate, something alive. Core, Zara whispered, detect any biological signatures. The AI's response was cautious. Multiple energy signatures detected. Non-human, approaching from multiple vector points. They emerged slowly, beings that seemed to be part of the planet itself. Crystalline humanoid forms that shifted and changed, their bodies reflecting and refracting light like living prisms. Where rock met biology, they existed in a state of constant transformation. The first contact was silent. No words, no traditional communication. Just a series of complex light patterns that radiated from their crystalline bodies. Zara understood immediately. This was a language of energy, of molecular vibration. Her recent technological breakthrough had not just been about survival. It had been a form of communication invitation. I mean no harm, she projected, using the energy conversion device she created. The crystals around her began to pulse in response, translating her intention into their native communication format. The crystalline beings moved closer. Their movements were fluid, almost musical. Each step created ripples of light and energy that danced across the planetary surface. They were studying her, assessing her. One of the beings, seemingly a leader or representative, extended what might be considered a hand. A complex crystal formation reached toward her survival suit's energy interface. Core's warning systems activated. Caution advised. Unknown biological interaction potential. But Zara had learned that true exploration required risk. She understood that communication wasn't about defense, but about mutual understanding. Her hand met the crystalline appendage. Instead of conflict, a burst of shared information erupted. Memories, technological understanding, survival strategies, exchanged in milliseconds through pure energy transfer. The crystalline beings had been isolated. A species evolved to survive in this extreme environment, watching, waiting. Their technology was fundamentally different from human understanding. Not built, but grown. Not designed, but evolved. They showed her their world's history, millennia of adaptation, survival strategies that redefine the concept of life itself, and beneath it all, a profound loneliness, a desire for connection that transcended their isolated existence. Zara realized something extraordinary. They had been waiting, not for a threat, but for someone who could truly communicate, someone who could understand their fundamental nature. Her technological breakthrough wasn't just a survival strategy. It was a universal translator of the most profound kind. We can help each other, she projected through the energy interface. The crystalline beings responded with a complex light show that translated roughly to agreement, curiosity, hope. Core began analyzing the data transfer. Unprecedented interspecies communication protocol established. Potential for mutual technological exchange detected. The planet itself seemed to respond. Crystal formations shifted, creating pathways. Energy patterns realigned. It was as if the entire ecosystem was acknowledging this new collaborative potential. Zara Novak had transformed a desperate survival situation into something miraculous. Not through military might, not through technological superiority, but through the most fundamental human qualities: curiosity, adaptability, and a genuine desire to understand. As the crystalline beings continued their intricate communication dance, a new chapter of exploration began, a testament to humanity's greatest strength, the ability to find connection in the most unexpected places. The alliance between Zara Novak and the crystalline beings evolved rapidly. What began as a tentative communication became a profound collaboration that would reshape understanding of interstellar cooperation. Distant signals began to emerge, a threat approaching the planet. Core's long-range sensors detected massive energy signatures that didn't match any known species in human databases. The crystalline beings called them the Void Strippers, a predatory collective that consumed entire planetary ecosystems, converting living matter into raw energy. "They're coming," one of the crystal beings communicated through their intricate light-based language. The translation carried a weight of ancient dread. Our world has been their target for generations. Zara understood immediately that this was more than a planetary defense. This was a fight for survival of an entire species and their unique ecosystem. The crystalline beings revealed their history, countless generations of defending their world against the void strippers. Each invasion had slowly eroded their strength, reducing their population, wearing down their defensive capabilities. "We need a different strategy," Zora proposed. Her mind was already racing, analyzing the incoming threat's energy signatures, looking for vulnerabilities. The void strippers' approach was technological terror. Massive energy harvesting ships that could strip a planet of its entire biosphere in hours. Their technology existed at the intersection of pure destruction and efficient resource extraction. Zara's technological breakthrough with the planet's crystal network became their primary weapon. By understanding the planet's energy communication system, she could create a defense unlike anything the void strippers had encountered. "We'll turn the entire planet into a defensive network," she explained to the crystal beings and Core, "not just a passive defense, but an active, adaptive response system." The crystalline beings were skeptical initially. Their previous defensive strategies had been about protection, about hiding. Zara's plan was revolutionary: to transform the entire planetary ecosystem into a dynamic, responsive defensive mechanism. Core began running complex simulations. The planetary crystal network could be transformed into a massive energy redirection and disruption system. Instead of resisting the void strippers' attack, they would absorb, redirect, and ultimately neutralize the incoming threat. As the first void stripper ships entered the planetary system, the transformation began. Crystal formations across the planet started to pulse with synchronized energy. Zara's human innovation merged with the crystal beings' ancient defensive knowledge. The first wave of attack came without warning. Massive energy beams that could typically vaporize entire continents struck the planet. But instead of destruction, something extraordinary happened. The planetary surface absorbed the energy. Crystal formations shifted, redirecting massive energy waves. What should have been total annihilation became a complex dance of technological adaptation. Zara stood at the center of a planetary defense system, her human ingenuity working in perfect synchronization with an alien ecosystem. Each moment was a calculation, each energy wave a potential opportunity. "Redirect at 37-degree quantum oscillation," she commanded, her hands dancing across improvised control interfaces. The crystal beings moved in perfect harmony with her instructions. Their biological technology merged with her human innovation, creating a defense mechanism that defied conventional understanding. The void strippers' attack continued, growing more desperate as their primary weapon. Total environmental destruction proved ineffective. They had never encountered a planetary defense system that could not just resist, but actively adapt and counterattack. Hours of intense conflict passed. The planetary surface became a living battlefield of energy and adaptation. Human determination, matched with alien biological technology, created something unprecedented. As the final void stripper ships began to retreat, Zara realized they had done more than defend a planet. They had demonstrated a fundamental truth about collective survival. No species, no technology was unbeatable when intelligence, creativity, and collaboration converged. The aftermath of the void stripper confrontation transformed everything. Where destruction might have been expected, a new understanding emerged, a testament to the power of collaborative survival. Zara Novak stood at the center of a planetary communication hub, surrounded by the crystalline beings who had become more than allies. They were now partners in a cosmic revelation about the nature of intelligence and adaptation. Transmission signals began to reach beyond the planet. The story of their survival, of human innovation merging with alien biological technology, would ripple across interstellar communication networks. "We've done more than survive," Zara told Core, her voice filled with a mixture of exhaustion and profound hope. "We've created a new model of interspecies cooperation." The crystal beings began reconstructing their world, But it wasn't a return to their previous isolated existence. Their encounter with humanity had fundamentally changed their understanding of survival and potential. Quantum communication arrays that Zara had helped develop began mapping the complex interactions between the planet's ecosystem and the crystalline being's biological technology. Each data point was a revelation, each transmission a potential breakthrough for scientific understanding. Distant Earth received the first comprehensive transmission. Research teams would spend decades analyzing the technological and biological innovations captured in those quantum data streams. Zara had transformed a desperate survival situation into the most significant scientific discovery in human history. The Void Strippers' retreat was more than a military victory. It was a demonstration of a fundamental truth, that true strength came from adaptation, from understanding, from the ability to transform challenges into opportunities. Transmission complete, Core announced. Multiple scientific and diplomatic channels now active. Zara looked out across the transformed planetary landscape. Crystal formations that had once been purely defensive now pulsed with creative potential. The entire ecosystem had become a living testament to collaborative innovation. The crystal beings gathered around her, their light-based communication creating intricate patterns that told a story of transformation. They were no longer a species defined by survival. They had become pioneers of a new form of interstellar understanding. What happens now? One of the crystal beings communicated through their complex energy language. Zara's response was simple yet profound. We continue to explore, to understand, to grow. Rescue teams would eventually arrive. Diplomatic vessels would document their extraordinary encounter. But the true significance of their experience went far beyond traditional first contact protocols. They had proven that the most powerful technology wasn't about destruction. It was about connection, about finding common ground in the most unexpected places. As the planet's crystals continued to pulse with renewed energy, Zara Novak represented something more than a stranded explorer or a successful defender. She was a bridge between worlds, a symbol of humanity's greatest potential. The universe watched, waiting to see what would emerge from this extraordinary convergence of human determination and alien potential. Their story was just beginning.